In the early 530s AD, the Roman Empire was surging back to life. Under Emperor Justinian I, the empire was reclaiming lost territories and experiencing a massive cultural and military revival. Construction was underway on the Hagia Sophia in Constantinople. Its soaring dome was an engineering marvel, standing as a physical testament to human mastery over the natural world. Across the globe, the same stability held. The Maya were expanding complex city-states in Central America, while vast, densely populated Chinese dynasties were flourishing in the East. Millions of people across disconnected continents operated under the same basic assumption: they were the masters of their domains. They had no idea they were standing on the edge of a catastrophic atmospheric tipping point. In the year 536, the skies over the northern hemisphere dimmed. A dry, ash-colored haze swallowed the sun, plunging the world into an eerie, perpetual twilight that lasted for 18 months. The Roman historian Procopius documented the terror firsthand, writing that the sun gave forth its light without brightness, and it seemed exceedingly like the sun in eclipse. Over 5,000 miles away, Chinese court scribes recorded the exact same darkness. Their texts describe yellow ash falling from the sky, brutal summer snowstorms, and a resulting famine in the Guangdong region, so severe that survivors were driven to cannibalism. To the west, the Irish annals recorded a devastating and unexplainable failure of bread. For centuries, modern historians looked at these accounts and dismissed them. They assumed these synchronized apocalyptic stories were localized exaggerations or religious allegories. Curious, but we have to ask why disconnected scribes in Ireland, Rome, and China would all invent the exact same bizarre weather phenomenon in the exact same year. The written record had reached its limit. Proving what happened in the skies of 536 required looking past the history books and checking the physical evidence. Scientists eventually found a physical archive of the event in the trees. Dendrochronologists studying ancient oak and pine rings discovered a synchronized stunt in global tree growth, with rings suddenly shrinking to almost nothing, perfectly aligned to the year 536. This chart shows the cause as recorded in polar ice cores from Greenland and Antarctica. Right at the 536 mark, global temperatures crash, mirroring a massive, sudden spike in trapped sulfate aerosols. Those sulfates are the chemical signature of a colossal volcanic eruption. Powerful blasts inject sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere, creating an aerosol veil that reflects solar radiation back into space. The chart reveals a second event. As the 536 veil clears, an even larger spike appears 4 years later in 540 AD, driving temperatures lower. The ice and the trees confirmed it. Humanity was hit by a volcanic double whammy, suffering through the coldest decade the Northern Hemisphere had seen in 2,000 years. With the dates confirmed, the search turned toward identifying the specific craters responsible for the blasts. For years, the leading suspect for the massive 540 tropical eruption was the Ilopango caldera in El Salvador. Looking at the sheer size of Lake Ilopango today gives you a sense of the cataclysmic energy released when that mountain blew itself apart. In 2020, an Oxford University ice core study utilized advanced radiocarbon dating on a tree trunk buried in the ash. They pinpointed the Ilopango eruption to exactly 431 CE, nearly a century too early to be our culprit. This means the true suspects for both the 536 and 540 eruptions remain unidentified. Current geological evidence points toward unmapped craters in North America or the Aleutian Islands, but no definitive match has been found. The specific geological event that triggered the most severe climate disaster in all of recorded history remains completely unidentified. While geologists continue hunting for the craters, historians now understand the biological chain reaction those eruptions set off. A decade of severe cold meant consecutive years of failing harvests. Starvation stripped away the baseline health of entire populations, leaving their immune systems severely compromised. In 541 AD, that environmental stress weaponized the Mediterranean's global trade network. Desperate for food, Constantinople rushed delayed shipments of Egyptian grain into its ports. Riding along in those holds were infected, plague-carrying rats, multiplying rapidly in the unusually cool weather. The starving Roman citizens were sitting ducks for the microscopic killer those fleas carried, the bacterium Yersinia pestis. What followed was the plague of Justinian. The disease killed millions across the empire, permanently halting the Roman Renaissance in its tracks. The systemic collapse swept across the globe. In the Americas, the immense, powerful metropolis of Teotihuacan was burned and permanently abandoned around 550 AD, falling victim to the internal upheaval and starvation brought on by the sudden climate shift. In Scandinavia, the brutal, unending winters wiped out an estimated half of the population. The trauma of those sunless, freezing years was so profound, it likely birthed the Norse myth of the Fimbulwinter, the apocalyptic freeze that precedes Ragnarok. Human empires often view themselves as masters of their environment, but the mystery of 536 AD proves that our global systems are entirely at the mercy of Earth's geology, which can rewrite human history in the blink of an eye.